Actually, they held them on several occasions, so it's going to be interesting to see if Oakcrest can come back in the second half.
Well, interesting will be the word. We got ourselves your basic cliffhanger on a Saturday afternoon. We'll have that second half action right after these words.
This Cape Atlantic League football game is brought to you through the support of Quebec Cadillac Pontiac. For luxury cars, the only way to travel is Cadillac style. And the sporty Pontiacs. We sell excitement. Quebec Cadillac Pontiac, 430 North Albany Avenue, Atlantic City. And by the Seagull Classic basketball tournament, where Mainland Regional will line up against defending champion Chester, Cardinal Hayes of New York City, top teams from Massachusetts, Arkansas, and Washington, D.C. in December at St. Joseph's University.
Second half action about to get underway in Corman. Not to make light of the statistics from the first half, but one touchdown on the first possession of the ball game for the Spirits, for the Spartans of Holy Spirit. And by the same token, that was when the gutsy call was made by the coaching staff at Oakcrest. They went 4th and short. They would turn back. So that's really it. The first possession of the game was the resultant touchdown. And after that, these two teams played pretty much even. Certainly from the offensive standpoint, Holy Spirit had the best of it. But again, the turnovers, there were penalties, and really the line of scrimmage got back in control. It seemed as though Oakcrest was doing a better job inside.
Yeah, I think, Tom, you know, it's a typical first game. You have a lot of mistakes, penalties, fumbles, things of that nature. But I still think it's a close ball game. Holy Spirit had a few opportunities to blow the game wide open. They had excellent field position after getting a turnover or two from Oakcrest. Penalty here or fumble there, they just weren't able to put the ball in. So you're accurate when you say, except for the beginning of the ball game when Holy Spirit made a nice drive and, of course, punched it in from the 1, there hasn't been anything or any real big threat after that. So I think it's still anybody's ball game, and I think the team that makes the least amount of mistakes this second half is going to win it.
And as Jenkins awaits the signal to kick off over to the Spartans, how important is the first possession for both clubs here in Game 1?
Well, I think it's very important because it's going to set the tone for the second half, Tom.
Jenkins boots the ball far downfield, taken there at the 15 by Robinson. He's going to try straight up the gut. He's going to be tripped up what appeared was his own man, 58, George Herbert, on the ground trying, or 59, excuse me. We'll give that to Kevin Pruitt. Appears though he tripped up inadvertently his own ball.
Yeah, that's what it looked like, Tom. And they tried again, Holy Spirit, a middle return, trying to break one right up the middle. And as you said, he was tripped by his own man. And it's going to be interesting to see now what Coach Burns and his staff does as far as their offensive play calling is concerned. They really mixed it up well in that first half.
Play number 1 here in the second half. Hamlet is the quarterback. He did find his receivers open in the first half, but again, it was the resultant turnovers that kept them out of the end zone. Jimmy Kurtz came up and filled the hole very well there. Excuse me, my mistake, correct. Matt Belotis filling the hole very well for the Oakcrest Falcons as it appears as though we have a gain of 3, 2nd and 7.
Yeah, that was a nice hit by Belotis. Really nice gutsy tackle, and I'll tell you, I'm impressed also with the way the Oakcrest defense is playing. They're playing extremely hard today.
Belotis coming from his right linebacker's slot to fill that hole, and the nice one-on-one tackle. The ball's given to second back through. It's Robinson, but right there wearing 42 is Jason Jenkins. We predicted you'd hear his name called in a lot of different situations today. He's throwing the halfback pass. He runs out of the fullback position. He kicks off, and there he is filling the gap at the linebacker slot.
Yeah, Jenkins is a good all-around ball carrier. He is playing left defensive end
right
for the Oakcrest Falcons. And going back to that offensive play, that was the first time we saw the counter or the tackle track run by Holy Spirit today.
Tight end to the left. The backs are split. Hamlet calling signals. He basically fakes to both. It wasn't a well-carried-out fake. He's going to be tied up right there by number 76, George Henschel. And Henschel will stop him far short of the first down, although we have flags on the field. It appears as though it'll go against the Spartans and will be declined by Oakcrest.
That was a waggle play by Hamlet. He bootlegged out to the right side, and of course, when you run that waggle or bootleg play, you have the option of running or throwing the ball. And Hamlet elected to keep at that time, and he was taken down from behind, and so it was not a first down, and therefore now Holy Spirit has to punt the ball. And let's see now, Tom, if in fact they can get some consistency in their punting game, and by that I mean we've had one time when a snap went over the punter's head, and the second time when everything seemed to be going pretty well. Let's see if they can do it again.
Loveland and Grass await the punt of number 15, Charlie Fahey. We have again flags down. It takes an Oakcrest bounce at about the 45-yard line. Short kick off the side of the foot. Flags down all over the place. Procedure call will go against the Spartans.
So they're still having difficulty with the punting game, Tom. This time in the way of some penalties and possibly not being set when they lined up or not being in a proper position. So it's something that they're going to really have to get straightened out, especially as the season moves on, and where special team play plays an important part, of course, in any ball game.
The penalty against Holy Spirit declined, certainly because of the field position that the Falcons of Oakcrest will realize here in their first possession of the second half. So Holy Spirit's first possession, as we had alluded to it, really results in little or no gain in having to punt the ball away. Now we get a chance to see how Oakcrest responds to their first opportunity of handling the ball here in the second half.
Tom, I wouldn't doubt maybe if one more scorer would win this ball game today, the way the defenses are playing. I really mean that. We'll wait and see.
The sophomore quarterback, Lafferty, calling signals. The bone's tight. The ball's faked to the first, back through. He's going to keep it himself. He's going to turn upfield. It's going to be stopped right there. And I don't know. From the quarterback position, hey, you get 2 yards and you know you're tied up. Get to the turf. He looked like he's trying to struggle for more, and that's when you could take those late hits.
Yeah, and another point, too, Tom, as often as they've run that option off the wishbone, I haven't seen the quarterback pitch the ball yet. Lafferty has always kept the ball and run it. I don't believe he's pitched the ball on that option yet. I know they've run some tosses, some sweeps, but as far as pitching it on the option, that has not taken place as of yet. 2nd
and 9, the situation. Again, the backs are split. This time the wing was to the right side. Avoiding the big loss was Jenkins, as bursting through there, wearing number 60, or do you have 49? Buzz Smith, also 60 in the backfield. That was Kevin Tierney, the defensive end. So lots of pressure from the Spartans, and Jenkins basically no gain.
Well, undoubtedly, Jenkins is their key, and that time he was stopped. There was no gain. Now we have a 3rd and long, and we've seen Oakcrest go to that screen pass twice, Tom, and pick up good yardage. You're liable to see that screen pass again right here. Let's wait and see.
Twice it was run in the first half. Looking for a receiver is Lafferty, and he was looking downfield for that one where he fakes inside and looks to hit the guy streaking down the sideline. He was covered, so he went to his safety valve, but it's going to bring up 4th down. They'll have to punt the ball away.
Yeah, what that was, they faked that belly play, drop back. He was looking for a split receiver up the right sideline. He wasn't open, so he dumped it off to one of his halfbacks in the right flat. And, you know, that's what the quarterback's taught to do. Look deep. It's not there. Dump it off into the flat and pick up as much as you can. So Lafferty played the ball, or played it extremely well.
Again, as we mentioned, both of these quarterbacks are sophomores. In fact, both of these teams are loaded with young people. The left tackle for Oakcrest moved. The penalty will be marched off against the Falcons, and they'll just be kicking it from 5 yards deeper than they were before. Back in 1982, Holy Spirit won by forfeit over the Falcons of Oakcrest. 81, Oakcrest was the victor, 25-16. In 1980, it was a Holy Spirit shutout, 8-0. The overall series since 1970, Spirit leads 10-3, and yet, as far as Ed Burns at the helm, he's 1-1 versus the Falcons. Snap is a good one. Punts away, and it's a long one. And boy, if that turns over, that's going to be a great kick, but into the end zone. The Spartans will have it at the 20. What a beautiful punt that time by number 15, Fran Lafferty.
But I'll tell you, Tom, you're not going to see a better high school punt than that. It had good height. He had turned the ball over. It was spinning properly, and he got great distance on that particular punt. If it had not gone in the end zone, of course, and stopped before you get to the line, it would have been great position for the Oakcrest defense.
I ask our viewers out there to know that tomorrow night they'll be able to see the Middletown North Mainland football game right here on Channel 2. Calling signals. Hamlet, he gives to the first back through. Big yardages. Ran kind of a counter the hole, and that counter ran up into, let's see, we'll call it a gain of about 7 yards. Bring up 2nd and 3.
Yeah, that was Mullen that time on that quick trap up the middle, and where he veered back a little bit to his right. And that quick trap, sometimes you wait for that block to be made by the guard, and you have to veer to the opposite side to make your cut.
Because it was such a direct route to the opposite side. It wasn't like he changed his position in as much as he ran that direct angle. Second play looks like it's going to be close. Yes, it does pick up the first down. So Spirit gets its unofficially its 6th first down of the afternoon. We could check with the Atlantic City Press's own Arthur Gropper as he is here. We'll check those stats at our first time out. 7:26 remains. Spirit leads 6-0.
I can honestly say, Tom, that Oakcrest defense has bended a little bit, but they really haven't broken down. I mean, yeah, Spirit is gaining yards here or there, but they're holding them when they have to hold them.
It's the 52 being run by Oakcrest. The linebackers are filling, and they're attempting to get, looks like what they're trying to do is they're trying to stay with the Spartans in line of scrimmage and let the linebackers and the defensive ends do a lot of the tackling.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, too, here if sooner or later you're going to see that pass again from Hamlet to Rando. That flag pattern, they ran to the right last time, and Rando made a great catch and a good gainer on it. But here you have wide receivers or a wide slot to the right, and it possibly could be a passing formation.
Denny DiDonato, in his 4th season, the coach of Oakcrest, trying to come up with a formula with which to stop Holy Spirit in this their second possession of the second half. They're going to bring up a 3rd and we'll call it 6. Yeah, about 3rd and 6 for the Spartans. The ball will be resting at their own 36-yard line.
Spirit's attack has been a good attack, Tom. You know, they've been, of course, mixing the pass with the run, and you have Hamlet who's running the play-action passes, and sometimes throwing, sometimes keeping, and you have the Mullen brothers and Robinson and the rest of them that are really making things happen in that backfield. You can tell as the season goes on, Spirit's going to continue to develop into a fine football team.
Robinson and Mullen are the backs. They're split. The ball's going to be thrown out here to the right side, but I'll tell you what, Oakcrest knew exactly where Hamlet was going to throw the ball, because that will go for very little, if any, gain whatsoever. Maybe the length of the football. It's going to bring up 4th and long for the Spartans, and they'll have to punt the ball away in a light rain here as the second half again starts to unfold.
Yeah, that was a nice pass, a nice catch by Kensky. Thing is, what you have to remember when you're going for 3rd and long, you as a receiver and, of course, quarterback have to realize how much yardage you need for that first down. And that's something that did not happen for the Holy Spirit Spartans that time.
Good snap, kicks away, and it's a very short kick, but it takes a Spirit bounce, and it will go right there just on the other side of midfield. Oakcrest will take over 1st and 10. We'll have this possession when we return right after this.
Earthwork Associates has a new home, 7504 Woodbine Ocean View Road in Ocean View. Earthwork Associates produces sand and gravel from their local mining operations, which is sold for decorative, commercial, and industrial use. Earthwork Associates also is in the contracting business, performing heavy construction on municipal contracts, site development, and snow removal. Call Don A. and all the people at Earthwork Associates at 624-0988.
The stands are speckled with brightly colored umbrellas as, again, we have a light rain falling as, I guess, what we thought might be the 3rd name besides the DiDonatos and the Burns was the Hugos, as we thought we might be playing this one in a hurricane, but not to be. Ball given to Jason Jenkins. Big room up the left side, and that really gets the Oakcrest side pumped up because the punt was short. The penalty went against the Spartans of Holy Spirit, and now they've got the ball deep into Holy Spirit territory at the 33.
That was a quick guard trap by Jenkins up the middle and gained about 6-7 yards on the play, Tom, and you can see that he can break one at any time. So, you know, this drive could give Oakcrest some confidence if they continue with it.
Lafferty, good quarterback, calling signal. 2nd and short the situation. He's looking to throw. We've got holding call. He's going to throw the ball downfield, and it's going to be dropped. After intercepted, it will be dropped. The defender on the play, Mike Ryan.
Yeah, Tom, and Lafferty threw that ball, and I tell you, I don't think it should have been thrown. There were 3 defenders around the receiver, and he just threw it up. Actually, it would have been up for grabs unless he knew something we didn't. But there is a holding call now against Oakcrest, and of course that's going to push them back a little farther.
What is it about we old linemen that always concede the hold?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. You linemen always seem to find those holds.
You just know. I mean, you watch the play inside, and you know what the offensive player is going to have to do if in fact Lafferty's ever even going to get the ball thrown. And you hope it goes unseen. It was not. It'll bring up 2nd and 15, and the ball is at the 44-yard line of the Spartans. So
another good spot for that screen, Tom.
We'll have to see.
Here it is, screen, middle screen.
And this time, though, really only one of the on-rushing linemen got an idea, and he wears 33, Don Keck. And Keck immediately got back into the path of the ball and broke it up.
Yeah, as a coach, Tom, you teach your defensive people that if they do smell screen, and when I say smell screen, they can tell if they're being let in too easily sometimes, to try to somebody just turn and go back and try to step in front of the receiver and intercept it or break up the pass, and that's what the young man did that time.
Backs are split. Jenkins up. He's now in the stance. Left friend Lafferty looking to throw the ball. Jenkins, the intended receiver, and you know what? He flat out ran prior to catching the football. Now the flag is thrown into the backfield of Oakcrest, and I would think it would be against Oakcrest, although they feel that it's going to be against the Spartans. And no, they're calling the captain of Holy Spirit over, and we'll have to see what's going on.
Looks like they have both captains over, Tom, and they're talking to both teams. I mean, you can't honestly say, but I think maybe things are getting out of hand a little bit with each team in the way of some pushing or whatever, and I think it's a good thing that Jack Townsend's doing now, getting the 2 captains together and discussing it with them and trying to calm things down, and let's play ball here, fellas, that we still have a lot of the game left.
Well, with respect to the players that we're going to have to get on the field and going to have to put all these 5 or 6 weeks worth of work into play today, we haven't mentioned it, but obviously there are some ill feelings between these 2 teams. It is Oakcrest's first year in Division I. They expect to enter it with Greg Lister at quarterback. Lister attempted to get over here to Holy Spirit. In came the NJSIAA, and needless to say, Lister, at least for the time being, is not allowed to play football. And it's left it's kind of like that other storyline that goes with any good Cape Atlantic Division I or II or American National football game.
Yeah, it's just an unfortunate thing that happened, Tom, and as you said, that's an air of controversy surrounding this entire game. And of course, you have a good athlete in his senior year, regardless of what school he's attending now, is ineligible and cannot play, and for whatever reasons, and we're not going to take the sides of anyone here, but it's an unfortunate thing that we have a 17, 18-year-old player that just can't participate his senior year, whether it be at Holy Spirit, Oakcrest, Absegami, Atlantic City. It's an unfortunate thing, and of course, as you said, there's that air that surrounds this entire game.
Both coaching staffs are being enlightened as to the call. We got 3rd and 20. The ball's on the 49-yard line of Holy Spirit. So this drive really has never materialized, and they haven't been capable of a 20-yard gain yet. And certainly Holy Spirit's looking to stop them here. Spirit again with the big rush. It's the screen pass. Looks like the screen is something now that Holy Spirit expects to see, and they're defending it differently than they did in the first half.
Yeah, I think they're keeping someone back now to defend that screen pass, Tom. If you have all your defensive linemen just rushing a quarterback, of course, and you have no one staying back to be in front of that particular receiver, well, quite naturally, it's going to be a good play. But I think Oakcrest or Holy Spirit made that adjustment at halftime, and now they're stopping that screen pass, and it's been successful for them.
Well, we have flags down, and it appears though too much time will have gone off the clock. Now we have a false start. False start against Oakcrest. They'll have to give up another 5 yards.
And you notice, Tom, not to interrupt you, the punting teams again. Seems like every time, no matter what team goes in punt formation, we have some type of penalty or problem with that.
So Lafferty is back to kick. He boomed one last time. To receive is Ryan.
Movement again, Tom, on the Oakcrest line.
Something's going on inside. You know, and fatigue, it could be another problem. Remember, if it's happening inside for Oakcrest, it's happening with a two-way player, a player that's used to being on both sides of the line of scrimmage. And sometimes fatigue gets in the way of your thinking, and when that happens, that you're going to move.
And a lot of teams in punt formation don't really call signals. They set the team, and then they move on the snap of the ball. But let's see what happens.
Snap is away. It's a good one. One player gets through Lafferty, just booms another one, takes an Oakcrest bounce. It's going to be picked up right there by Ryan, but he's going to be corralled and crushed at the 10-yard line. We'll call it the 11. Now we've got flags. This is what you had just forecasted. You thought the officials saw it, but the players have yet not backed off of each other. A few antics that may not be within the realm of the game.
And I think that, the officials have done a good job in controlling that, Tom. You notice they're not hesitant to throw the flag, and that's the only way you're going to stop anything like that occurring. Throw the flag, talk to the players, bring the captains together, just be where you're supposed to be, and they've done an excellent job with that. And there were a few times, of course, that happens in a lot of football games where there's pushing, shoving, comments being made, but I think it's been controlled very well, and I know the game will end in the same manner.
It has not yet been a penalty-marred game, but when you think about it, regardless of the 10 yards in penalties on that fourth down punting situation, Lafferty boomed one. He got the ball down to the 10-yard line. Now, I'm not sure where or if this is going to result in anyone's penalty in particular, but that's not the time to do it. I mean, your punter just gave you beautiful field position.
Exactly.
He just penned the team back in. Hey, it's never going to be right, but if you've got a gripe, save it for a different situation.
Well, I'll tell you, there's a lot of game left. You got 2:50 in the third quarter. You have a whole fourth quarter. Oakcrest has Spirit pinned down to about their own 10 or so, 11-yard line, and this game's still anybody's ball game, in my opinion.
6 points on the first possession of the game are on the board, and that's it. So you got it. This is a wide-open game for anybody's taking, and it's going to be it could be one big play to decide it. Still, the players are being talked. Now the penalty is being marched off. It is going against Oakcrest, and that just basically illustrates my point. You had them penned in on their own 10. You get a fumble, boom, you've got field position, let's take it in. You have an entirely different circumstance right now. Now the ball's in the 25, and even with the turnover, you've still got 25 to 40 yards you've got to go to get in.
Anytime you lose your cool, Tom, in any football game, I don't care who it is, and you have these penalties called against you, it's going to hurt. No doubt about it. Now we see it coming back, and well, we'll have to wait for Jack Townsend's call on this to see exactly what occurred.
Okay, they marched off penalty against Oakcrest and then a penalty back against Holy Spirit, so the ball goes basically back to where it was, but you're just going to have to tell your players down the road you may not be lucky enough to have offsetting penalties, and you're going to have to keep your lid. Hamlet calling signals. The tight end is to the left, and now we've got Burns, head coach Ed Burns, on the sideline, attempting to get yet further clarification as to the marching off of these penalties.
Yeah, and Ed's just trying to get everything straightened out as to exactly what the call was, and that's part of any head coach, and I think he deserves that explanation because, as you know, the pressure's there when you're a head coach at any level.
Well, you're going to fight for your team. I mean,
exactly.
You are going to fight tooth and nail to make sure that your kids are given a fair shake. You're not really that terribly concerned about anything else but understanding that when the whistle blows and the snap is made, that you were given a fair shake. Okay, we are now about to gear it up. 1st and 10, the situation. No, 1st and about 25, the situation. And stacked up right there as the first back through was Mullen. And he'll be little or no gain on the play. He'll bring up 2nd and 25.
I'll tell you, one thing I sense, Tom, with the Oakcrest defense, I think they've really gained confidence as this game has gone on. And I refer back to what we said in the first half. the game has really not been blown wide open. After that first score, it's been nip and tuck, back and forth, and it looks like to me they really have gained confidence from that. And as I said, anything can happen.
The tight end again to the left. The backs are split. The slot is to the right. There's the penalty.
Looked like the tight end for Holy Spirit jumped the gun that time. It's going to be 5 yards against.
We never have to cut back at Little Caesars. We always give you 2 great top-quality pizzas.
Pizza.
For one low price.
We're about to prove a point. On the right, a pie wrapped in saran wrap. On the left, Reynolds and Glad. Knowing a bear won't eat what he can't smell, which one holds an odor and freshness better? Saran wrap. Nothing protects food better.
Mr. Bobby McFerrin. For Ocean Spray.
So tangy. So crisp.
Taste refreshing Ocean Spray Cran Raspberry. It's music to your mouth.
Barbara Eden has a brand new family.
I'm Barbara, by the way.
With some brand new surprises.
Stop!
Something is eating at you.
I'm like totally stressed.
It's twice the kids.
Kids?
And double the troubles.
Right.
When the hit movie
Wow.
becomes the series. Brand new live. Sunday.
Hey, folks, what do you think the chances are of Rebecca's dream coming true? Is Sammy part of the picture? In your dreams, Sam, on an all-new Cheers. And John has a new leash on life in the season premiere of Dear John.
This is Jerry Burns of Dear John. Girk. My name is Girk. And I'm inviting you to watch the season premiere of Dear John, because that's the kind of guy I am.
Then meet 2 cops who play ball the hard way, a dynamic duo of a different kind on the new NBC series Hardball.
Perfect marriage goes wrong.
You're still my wife!
A woman's shocking story of abuse.
He's threatening to kill me.
And the system that let it happen.
He's still your husband.
Nancy McKeon in a powerfully moving performance.
He has a right as a citizen to stand on the street.
Not my street.
Her fight for the dignity of women everywhere. A cry for help Monday.
When I first came back, I was overwhelmed. They welcomed me literally with open arms. I have a lot of friends here, and they taught me a lot, not only about how to be a professional, but about life, and they were really a source of inspiration. They're just wonderful people who showed me a lot of love. They deserve the credit for this homecoming.
Summit meeting to...
Going to kick the ball back over to Oakcrest and give what would appear to be the Oakcrest Falcons great field position.
Yeah, that was a safe call. It was a draw. The quarterback, Hamlet, put the ball up like he was going to throw and just handed it to the outside with Robinson on the draw play. And now they have to rely on their punting game to get the ball out there for them.
So it'll be 4th and about 22. Back to punt is Fay. He kicks the ball. It again is short. It's going to take an Oakcrest bounce.
Another flag, Tom.
Another flag down on the field. It came from the back, way to the back,
right.
Judge. And he saw something he didn't like. But look at the field position that Oakcrest could possibly have on the Spartan 26.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. If the penalty is not against Oakcrest, they're going to have excellent field position. But let's wait and see who the penalty's going. I see them talking. Jack Townsend's now talking to the Oakcrest captains.
So the Oakcrest captains are being counseled by our referee, Jack Townsend. We did run it down the first half. For you late viewers, our officiating team is Jack Townsend, Ron Sadoff, Ray Berkeley, Joe Pietropola, Eric Cantel, and the clock efficiently handled by one Ted Daly.
Yeah, Tom, I see you had a little trouble with that one Italian name. You better get that straight.
I've called enough Hamilton games in my day. I got the names down. We're going to be around the league, Coach. You and I kind of making up the second team here for our high school production staff. But we're going to be going to get the opportunity to see lots of games for our viewers out there. You can stay tuned. Like I said, Middletown North at Mainland. And then on Monday, Holy Spirit will be taking on Egg Harbor Township. That'll be their game right after this one. Another punt almost hits the back of a Holy Spirit player. The ball now rests. So we have about 3-yard difference.
3-yard difference is about it, yeah.
Rests on the 23.
Getting back to you saying about us moving up, Tom, with our broadcast, Tom Williams told me that if I stuck with you, we'd get to the top. And I think that at least we're getting close anyway.
Well, he'll never let you get to the top because that's his seat.
Yeah, well, that's true. That's true.
We have a timeout on the field. Again, we're going to move the change. We're going to straighten it out. The line of scrimmage, again, is the 23-yard line. Oakcrest is sitting 1st and 10.
Good field position,
Their
Tom,
best
for
of
Oakcrest.
the day. Their best of the day. Not to interrupt you there, Coach, but their best of the day. The tight end's to the left. Jenkins going to be given the ball first back through. He's going to pick up 3 yards on the carry. He's going to bring up second end. We'll call it 7.5.
Yeah, that was just that inside handoff to Jenkins. As you can see when that wishbone, Tom, after quarterback Lafferty hands off to Jenkins inside, he and the halfback continue their faking down the line. And, of course, that's to set up the option off of that play, and you may see that come shortly.
The pitch this time to the halfback. They're going to try left side. I'll tell you what, Carm, if he gets the block, it's open. He does. He's across the 15, down to the 12-yard line. And, boy, you could see that open right up. It was one-on-one blocking. The numbers were right for the Falcons.
And that was number 20, Chuck Grass, who was one of their leading rushers last year, and he's got the speed and can make the cut. And here we end the 3rd quarter, Tom.
Oakcrest looking to get back into the ball game. They trail by a mere 6-0. They've got the ball there threatening. We'll see if they can turn it on the Spartans right after this.
Well, darlings, it's time to tell you about the most marvelous restaurant in Summers Point. It's Soda's Point, Bob, of course. Just look at these divine delicacies. Broiled lobster, marvelous. Can't you just taste it, darlings? And here comes this stuffed shrimp. It'll make your mouth water marvelously. Now, darlings, feast your eyes on these fantastic desserts. Marvelous. And the atmosphere for lunch or dinner is warm and friendly and absolutely marvelous. Remember, darlings, you'll feel as good as I look at Soda's Point Pub in the Summers Point Shopping Center on Route 9.
This Cape Atlantic League football game is brought to you with the best wishes of Gillespie Realty. They're at 2699 Dune Drive in Avalon. Call George Gillespie at 967-4800.
There's the Oakcrest huddle. The coaches are in there, and this is the time of the game that really the outcome could be in the balances. I mean, we're in one of those situations where if they don't take advantage of this gift field position and the 3rd and short situation, they might as well kiss this one goodbye. First play of the 4th period. It's going to go to the deep back. He's got the first down. So 1st and 10, just outside the 10-yard line will be the Oakcrest Falcons, and they are threatening the Holy Spirit Spartans here as the 4th period of the 2nd half gets underway.
Yeah, that was a power out of the wishbone, similar to Holy Spirit running the power I, Tom, with 2 backs leading. And, of course, that's a good short yardage play out of the wishbone also. And now they're back into the wishbone attack with a split end to the left.
Split is to the left. The bone is full. It's going to be pitched to the halfback. He's got blockers, but really coming up nicely and making the tackle in that case is one of the defensive captains, Paul Elka.
You know, I also think with the split end to the left that time, they had their tight end to the same side, so they were in an unbalanced formation, and they tried to bring Grass around the left side. Good call, just trying to overpower or outflank Spirit to that side. I wouldn't be surprised if you see some type of option play out here to the wide side of the field to the right.
2nd and 9, the situation. The split is to the right side. All the backs are in the bone. Looking to throw the ball to the tight end over the middle, and it's intercepted. Intercepted by Holy Spirit on their own 8-yard line. They'll take over 1st and 10. The play was never there. We'll be back with how Holy Spirit answers right after these words. Okay. Norm, see if you can get over to the, that's it, right there. See if you can follow him all the way. That's it. If you can stay with him, he's back by the fence. All right. In 5. The interceptor on the play was Bressler The first play of Holy Spirit's possession is going to be stopped for little or no gain. But as you saw, as we came back, Brethler receiving the congratulations of his teammates, the big interception made, and really keeps Holy Spirit in the lead 6-0.
Yeah, Tom, I know what Oakcrest was trying to do. They were trying to dump it to the tight end, but it was very congested. It probably never should have been thrown by the quarterback.
And Lafferty, being the smallest quarterback, probably had a hard time seeing down there, too, as the linemen were standing straight up. I'll tell you what, you know, Coach, you made the observation as to the adjustment or the fact that the line for Oakcrest had really understood, at least by this point in time, they can play with the Spartans, and that was just a perfect example. At the point of attack, it was all Falcons.
Yeah, they just swarmed the ball carrier that time. They're playing good, tough defense. If Oakcrest gets their offense in gear and puts some points on the board throughout this season, there could be a good, tough ball club in the American Division.
Robinson and Abbott out of the game. Tight end is to the right. Backs are split. Looking to throw is Hamlin. He's going to be tied up right there. On the play, number 50. He has lived in the Holy Spirit backfield, and it is Thor Harris, and he's receiving the congratulations of his teammates as he's embraced one after the other. So, even though they came up with the interception, the yards gained by the Holy Spirit offense here in the second half, Coach, must be in the minus side, and that's unheard of.
And I can feel momentum change right now, Tom. Both by the excitement of the players on the teams and the stands, you can feel momentum change. Oakcrest is going to get good field possession again.
And the kick is away. Hey, if you had to save your best punt of the day, that was the time to do it. Advancing the ball up the field, wearing number 20 is Chucky Grass as he kind of fielded that one on the run, advanced the ball up to his own 26-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Falcons of Holy Spirit in, once again, good field position.
The thing is, Tom, you have to put points on the board if you're getting all these good field positions, and Oakcrest has had several throughout the day, and they haven't been able to capitalize on it. Something has stopped their drive, whether it be an interception, fumble, penalty, whatever. They've got it. They can't keep getting all these opportunities and not put points on the board.
Calling signals is Lafferty. The wing is to the right. He's going to give to that wing. He's going to cut back to the left. He's going to get good yardage. Chucky, is that Grass? Yes, Chucky
20.
Grass finds the left side for big yardage. And why is it, Coach, that the offense is always behind the defense? It's the same thing in baseball. The hitters are behind the pitchers, and here the offense behind the defense when it comes to just working things in.
Well, usually you have a lot of blocking rules on that offensive line, and the offensive linemen aren't used to defensive changes as early in the season as maybe they should, and it takes time to pick up adjustments, and that's probably why.
Well, Jason Jenkins is going to look to continue Oakcrest's good fortune here, but he's going to be stopped behind the line of scrimmage as he tries the left side for a loss of 2, and it looks like we've got an Oakcrest player down on the field. It was Jenkins. He took a heck of a lick right there, but he is okay, and he's back heading towards the sideline, probably for a breather. 3rd and 7 will be the call. The ball rests squarely on the 25.
And they don't have to get all 8 or 9 of the yards, Tom. They got 2 downs here to pick up the first.
Calling signals is Lafferty. The slot this time is to the right. It's going to be that screen pass again, and it is a Holy Spirit player that was looking to once again upset the intended screen, but keeping his feet was the receiver, and he advances the ball very near first down territory inside the 15.
That was an excellent play by the receiver because there was a man in front of him. He knew that, and he veered a little to his left side, took the pass, and got good yardage on it, and it picked up a first down for them. So Oakcrest is in a good position right now.
By the length of a football, we have first down. Oakcrest once again threatening here in the second half. Really, they have had the best of the second half action. Trying to get to the 15-yard line over the right side is Jenkins as he quickly gets back into the game. He'll pick up 2 on the play.
That was Jenkins again with his power, and Tom, you got 2nd down and about 8. You know, I'm still looking for a nice option where they come down the line. They've either handed off inside or Lafferty has kept it. And again, you still haven't seen that pitch. You have to get that good relationship between the pitch man and quarterback. And if you see that, they're liable to turn the corner.
The bone is tight. Tight end to the left. Lafferty calling signals. Times the pitch to Gross. He gets the big block. He gets a second big block, but that second big block was a clip. And as the officials sort this thing out, as you can see the flags down in the play, it's good chance this is not going to go Oakcrest way. It's going to change the field position. But we'll have to see because we're going to take a break. We'll be right back with the action after this.
This Cape Atlantic League football game is brought to you through the support of the Sentinel-Ledger, South Jersey's finest weekly newspaper, covering all Cape Atlantic League sports, plus news of Ocean City and the surrounding area. And by All Four Seasons Landscape and Garden Center. Visit our Summers Point Garden Center on MacArthur Boulevard or our new center on Route 9 and Great Creek Road in Smithville. We have what you need, and we'll be happy to answer all your questions.
One of the mascots here trying to incite the crowd, certainly on Spirit's sideline, the crowd being such that usually you don't have to get them into the ball game. They're very, very strong supporters, and they're quick to cheer on their Spartans. But he is also here with the cheerleaders and everyone else to make sure that today is a fine athletic contest. Indeed it is. 6-0 is the score. Oakcrest with 5:55 remaining is being pushed back from its original field position because of the cliff we told you about before we went to break. So the field position is going to change dramatically. But really, Coach, it's been all Oakcrest in the second half.
That's right. And yeah, you have a second and long. You still have a few downs to pick up the first. It's going to be interesting, Tom.
The tight end is to the left. Calling signals is Lafferty. Looking to throw the ball downfield. He's going to throw the interception because he had number 60, and we'll give you his name, Kevin Tierney, all over him. Probably another ill-advised pass. Indeed, the interception. It'll be first down for the Spartans of Holy Spirit when we return.
Lafferty back to pass. Hit hard there, but number 60, Tierney. Lets the ball go. It's picked off by number 33, Don Peck for the Spartans. Here takes over the first 15. Ball resting about the 34-yard line of the Spartans.
Back here at Holy Spirit calling signals is Hamlet. They're first down in their own territory. He's going to keep the ball. He's going to try his own left side, but having none of it, wearing number 39 is Alexi Leon. And Alexi Leon was right there, not fooled in the least.
Great play by Leon coming from the outside in to contain Hamlet. And, Tom, I'm going to say it again, Oakcrest defense is playing well. If they could only get their offense on track. But I'd like to say also that the Holy Spirit Spartans defense is playing well. I'm going to label it a defensive ball game up to this point. Both defenses are in control offensively. Other than that first part of the game, we haven't seen a whole lot.
Defenses, penalties, turnovers, special teams. It's been that kind of a day. The offenses haven't really been there. They have struggled on both sides of the ball, and as soon as I get it out of my mouth, we have another penalty.
Yes.
And it'll go against Holy Spirit. So you have the 5-yard loss on the naked bootleg, and then what you have is you have the 5-yard penalty. So now it's going to be 2nd and 20.
Yeah, and I'm going to say it again, that a key mistake by any one of these ball clubs could end the game.
Again, wholesale changes on the side of Holy Spirit. We again alert our viewers tomorrow night. Middletown North at Mainland, and then next week you'll get a chance to see these Spartans again. Ocean City will be taking on these Falcons, and we've got more high school action all season. Rolling right as Hamlet has his man over the middle of the field, and we've got a penalty thrown on Lafferty, the tackler, and he is going to be called right there because the man's on the ground. It must be he cannot be hit. Lafferty hit him, and it's going to give the Spartans of Holy Spirit more than likely a first down.
Yeah, and that was a waggle play with Hamlet bootlegging out to the right, hitting the tight end, 81, I believe that was Abbott, across the middle. And that's the primary receiver a lot of times on that waggle because linebackers are dropping. You have the tight end coming across the middle, and a lot of times you can complete that right in front of the linebackers, and it makes for an excellent game.
Carmen, I mean, no more than 2 minutes ago, the action was Oakcrest with possession of the ball on about the 9-yard line.
Exactly.
With that penalty and with this possession, Holy Spirit now has the ball in Oakcrest territory at the 49 to show you the changes that can be made in this game because of penalties. Hamlet fakes to the first back through, looking to throw the ball downfield, lofts it up. It's going to be intercepted. Intercepted right there and being returned over the left side for Oakcrest as he's being tackled at the 43-yard line. That's Joe Ramos, and boy, has he been another player, a defensive standout here today for the Falcons.
That was an excellent interception. He played that ball extremely well. He watched it, got in front of the receiver, jumped up, picked it off with 2 hands, and made a nice run back. Of course, the Spirit recovering there made a nice hit on him, but still now turns the ball back over to Oakcrest. Not with the field position that they've had now 2 or 3 times in a row, but again, they have the football, and they've got to move it. They've got to move it. That's important.
Time's going to become a factor, and soon. 3:24 remain here in the 4th period, and Oakcrest trails Holy Spirit 6-0. Looking to option the ball to the left is Lafferty. He gets his halfback, but his halfback's going to be stopped for about a 2-yard gain. And, you know, Carmen, it's becoming painfully clear that the speed just isn't there to break one. There's going to have to be a defensive breakdown, I think, if Holy Spirit's going to, or excuse me, if Oakcrest is going to answer.
Yeah, and I thought that pitch was made a little too soon, Tom. With that option, you've got to get down to the line and make that defensive end make a play, either play the quarterback or the pitch man. The quarterback pitched it too soon, so the defense to that side was able to recover quickly.
Slot is to the right. It's Ross. Ross is going to try that little inside play again, but he's going to be stopped right there by, again, defensive captain Paul Elko, the defensive end on that right side.
Yeah, that was that little inside counter or trap with the wingback coming back, and they've been unable to break that all afternoon, and now they've called a timeout.
2 minutes and 34 seconds remain to score. Holy Spirit 6, Oakcrest 0 in a surprisingly tight game, and we'll have that final 2 minutes for you right after this.
This Cape Atlantic League football game is brought to you through the support of Kerbeck Cadillac Pontiac. For luxury cars, the only way to travel is Cadillac style. And the sporty Pontiacs. We sell excitement. Kerbeck Cadillac Pontiac, 430 North Albany Avenue, Atlantic City. And by the Seagull Classic basketball tournament, where Mainland Regional will line up against defending champion Chester, Cardinal Hayes of New York City, top teams from Massachusetts, Arkansas, and Washington, D.C. in December at St. Joseph's University.
Well, you can't fault them for their showing today. Coach DiDonato and his Oakcrest troops, you see him there pacing. He has got to be awfully proud of the way they have represented the Falcons here today. Let's face it, everything are going against Oakcrest coming into this game, playing away, taking on the defending champion, first game in the American division, and certainly far short of the players necessary, and they're right in here sticking it to Spirit. Lafferty looking to roll right, throw the ball. He's going to keep it. He's going to try to pick up a block. He doesn't, and he's going to be stopped for very little or no gain. It's going to bring up a 4th down. They're going to have to give the ball back to the Spartans.
I thought you would have probably attempted a pass on something like that, Tom. You had 3rd and long. You got, let's see, 2 minutes and 12 seconds remain in the game, and you're trying to outrun the defense to the right. I don't know. I think you'd have had to try something else to pick up that 1st down. Now you have 4th, and this could be the ball game right here. Oakcrest is going for it on 4th. If Holy Spirit takes over now, they could run the clock out.
Frank Stewart, the defensive captain, had made the call for the Spartan defense. They're going to look to turn back Oakcrest right here. Oakcrest going to look to throw the ball. Going to throw it right down the middle of the field, out of anyone's grasp. Everyone was covered, and there are no flags down. So now the ball will be turned over to Holy Spirit. 1st and 10, and they'll have the ball in Oakcrest territory.
You got 1 minute and 42 seconds left, Tom. Spirit now takes over, and I'm sure Coach Burns and the staff is going to stay on the ground and just grind the clock out, and I'm pretty sure he'll be happy to go away with the 6-0 win today. Of course, you never know. Anything can happen.
Anything can happen at this level.
Look at the Eagles' last game.
Both tight ends are in. The ball's going to be given to the halfback. He's going to weave his way around the left side. He's going to come up with lots of yardage across the 30 down to the 28-yard line. of the Oakcrest Falcons. And as you said, it appears as though Holy Spirit is looking to put a lid on this one.
Yeah, and that's something Oakcrest can't let happen right now. I mean, that's probably the worst thing that could happen to you, is just let them gain yardage, and that was 8 or 9 yards, and now Spirit has a 2nd and short. And as I said, these first downs are just eating the clock away, and you were down to about 1 minute and 9 seconds left in the ball game.
Considering the defense has shut Oakcrest down, Spirit might attempt a risky play here. They opt not to, at least on this particular exchange. They pick up the first down. The chains will be moved, and they have the ball inside the 25-yard line at the Falcon 24.
I think Coach Burns is just going to be satisfied, Tom, to continue to stay on the ground and run the clock out, and I think that's there they are in that power eye attack. You'll probably see the ball go to the deep back to the right side.
Again, for our viewers, look to see all the American and National high school division football right here on Channel 2. You'll see Millville, you'll see Atlantic City, Vineland. Obviously, Holy Spirit will be almost on a weekly basis. Mainland, as it makes its journey for the Division II crown, also will be seen right here on Channel 2. All the best that we can offer here in South Jersey, and you get a chance to see it week in, week out. As the penalties assess, we'll take a short break. We'll have more action right after this.
Earthwork Associates has a new home, 7504 Woodbine Ocean View Road in Ocean View. Earthwork Associates produces sand and gravel from their local mining operations, which is sold for decorative, commercial, and industrial use. Earthwork Associates also is in the contracting business, performing heavy construction on municipal contracts, site development, and snow removal. Call Don A. and all the people at Earthwork Associates at 624-0988.
Calling signals. Both tight ends are in power I. Ball be given to the halfback. He'll try the left side, dragging a tackler and attempting to get back some of the penalty is the halfback for Spartan, and it's Calvetta. But they are now in control of the clock. They're in control of the ball, the score. It looks like Holy Spirit's going to chalk up its first W of the year, and it'll be 6-0 as we have a timeout now called by Oakcrest. They look to go 0-1.
Yeah, I think the game's pretty well wrapped up now, Tom. We got 26 seconds to go, and I'm sure Spirit will just run the clock out. And if you reflect back on the game a little bit, and then you're in both coaches' minds right now, you know, I guess you take a look and say, well, Coach DiDonato, he might be fairly happy. Of course, you're never totally happy when you lose, but to stay with the Spartans with the record they had last year and so forth, and still being one of the top contenders in the league, I don't think Oakcrest played so badly. They hung right in there. Now, as far as Spirit goes, I'm sure Coach Burns would have liked to put more points on the board, but at the same time, you have a young, inexperienced ball club, and you come away with a win, which is very important to start off any season.
The season already presented itself as an interesting one, Carmen, as we have lots of returners in Atlantic City. You know, Egg Harbor Township is experiencing 22 returning lettermen. You know that Vineland's going to be tough. Millville, we're not really sure about, but they did get that first win. Ocean City, you just never knew who was going to take charge, and what this indicates is that Oakcrest is ready to make its statement, and that Holy Spirit is, unless they put things together, very beatable.
Of course, as the season goes on, Oakcrest has to worry about numbers and injuries and that type thing, where Spirit might not have to as much.
Spirit gives the ball, Hamlet gives the ball up.
He's gone.
There it is. And it's that one break. It's going to go out of bounds at the 10-yard line. But it is that one missed tackle. And really, the heads are down a little bit on the Oakcrest sideline. Now we have a penalty on the field. So we'll have to see how this unfolds. But that one missed tackle, and it appeared as though he was off to the races, the ball carrier, Caravetta.
Yeah, I thought Caravetta was going to go also, Tom. The one defender there for Oakcrest just grabbed his jersey and brought him down out of bounds here to the left side of the field, but he could have easily gone, and I'm sure Coach Burns would have liked to have maybe 12, 13 points rather than 6 to really cap the ball game.
Well, the penalty is going to go against the Spartans, it appears. It's a personal foul. We've seen lots of that today. Lots of personal foul calls. Some of them were just, were certainly not malicious by any stretch, but were just mistakes in judgment. First and 25 for the Holy Spirit Spartans as they look to take win number 1 as 20 seconds remain here. We're in Absecon. Our viewers, if they keep abreast of high school football, are already aware that Ocean City has been a victor over Cumberland. Atlantic City losing at Millville. And now it appears as though Oakcrest is going to be handed its first defeat by the Spartans. Holy Spirit trying the right side to kind of time-winding plays as the clock ticks down.
Looks like Oakcrest has called another timeout, Tom.
But notice the wide plays that we're getting. We're getting plays to the wide side. They eat up a lot of time. You can see the girls coming out to try to give some refreshment to the ball players. They got to be down a little bit. They know that in the trenches, they gave it to the Spartans. They know that penalties and again, turnovers were really costing both offenses, field position and et cetera. But by and large, they have to be a little down on the Oakcrest side because they gave it the wrong. They just come up 6-point shot. Getting back to the first possession of the ball game for the Spartans, they did score. That's it for the entire thing.
You know, one point to make about this Division I, or the American Division as it's called this year, you know, you can play a great ball game as Oakcrest has against a top team as Holy Spirit is. And I know that sometimes in other leagues you have a tendency, well, you've played that top team. Now next week maybe the team's not going to be as tough.
Right.
But that's not the case in the American Division. I don't care what team you're playing on, what Saturday you're playing them, it's going to be a tough ball game. So Oakcrest is going to have to buckle up again next week, as well as is Holy Spirit. So every week in this American Division is a big ball game. There's no doubt about it.
Calling signals again is Hamlet. That looked a little crazy. He puts his knee down, downs the ball, and then gets out of there. He doesn't want to take any hits after the whistle. Time winds down. Oakcrest is not able to stop it, and that's going to be it. The final score here from Absecon, the Holy Spirit Spartans garner win number 1 as they take the Oakcrest Falcons 6-0. Ed Burns gets the game ball, and he's gone over for his congratulations. We'll have comments from both coaches right after this.
You can buy insurance anywhere from anyone, and they'll tell you anything to get your business. But you don't need just any insurance. You need insurance cut and fitted to your personal needs. Our agency offers a full line of insurance from auto, home, life, health, and commercial coverages. Call the Pashley Agency at 390-3360, and an account representative will take the time to sit down and determine the coverage best suited for you. Commitment, service, and quality. Pashley, the protection people.
We're here with head coach Dennis DiDonato, and Denny, what we just got talking about, young mistakes. It was a game played by young men, new on both sides of the line of scrimmage, but you got to be happy with the fact that the kids sucked it up and gave the Spartans everything they wanted here in Absecon game 1.
Yeah, I felt pleased with the game. Of course, it's always nice to come away with a win, but the performance our guys came both ways, a lot of guys both ways, and a lot of young kids. They really showed that they're ready to take on anybody they have to.
The sophomore quarterback, Lafferty, really did a nice job back there. Seemed like he was running the show. He also plays defense. Got a lot of two-way players. We talked about Alexei Leon, talked about Thor Harris, some of the other players that really contributed today for a fine effort.
Yeah, Matt Belotis defensively against Thor Harris. They're both two-way players. The quarterback, Lafferty, again, he did a real nice job coming out his first varsity ball game. As most of them are. I'd say probably about 5 returners back. But Jason Jenkins hung tough both ways, and a number of linemen inside. We got some real young people, but they're coming around.
Hey, a program like this, one that's got such a great tradition, and you got a tough loss here today, but you can build on one thing. It's your first year back in Division I or the American Division. That's got to be a challenge that you people look forward to, although you know week in, week out it's going to be tough football.
Oh, yeah, we got a tough game every week, very tough game. We have St. Joe's, our out-of-conference game, and they're going to be tough. They're always tough. But there's no mistake. Our kids want to play, and they're whoever's lining up against them, they're going to take them on, and they're going to do the best they can, give everything they have, and walk away when
with the coach.
Was there all the backs you used today, Ed? Do you plan